Hey everyone, I'm Alexis the Egoqueen, and welcome back to Queen's Court. In the last episode, Rosalina had a mental breakdown. Yet again. Kind of a running trend. She murdered a bunch of stuff, but here's Victor with a proper description. Recap.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I am Vicky the GM, and welcome back to the Queen's Court. When we last left our heroes, as the squad of turnkeys went in groups of 3 through the teleportarium, the war band followed behind in a blaze of golden light, and for a moment the world ceased to exist, only to return in a vivid crash of screams and pain. Larizian, Amma, and Rosalina rushed into the fray to aid the beleaguered turnkeys, as they were hard-pressed to hold back the Xenos freaks. Soon, the Drukhari homunculus was within view, accompanied by his slith bodyguards, as he sent a flurry of shards at the attackers. The homunculus moved with alien grace as he awakened a grotesque monstrosity from one of its surgical slabs. The hulking creature rushed into the melee, but Larizian ran in headlong to meet the creature in battle. Jumping onto its back, Larizian tried to kill the creature with his Digimelta, but missed when a wayward appendage slapped his hand aside. The grotesque grabbed Larizian, only for the homunculus to approach and slice off the front of his face, leaving him a bleeding mess on the floor. Amma gained the hulking creature's attention, and after ducking its incoming strike, he counterattacked, sending his power spear straight through its torso. The homunculus saw that his forces were losing ground and made an escape attempt through a nearby exit, only for Rosalina to pursue, forcing the Drukhari to the ground with a psychic command, and executing him with her meltagun. Dr. Polonia ran towards the bleeding mess that was Larizian and patched his wounds, but not his pride, as most of his nose had been cut off and one eye had screwed swollen shut. Victorious, the acolytes returned to the Oath Unspoken and informed the High Warden of Nexum 8 that they would commence an orbital bombardment of the area, just to be sure. And we return aboard the Oath Unspoken as it gets ready to set sail out of the Nexum system and Medea's glaring light. So, who wishes to go first, so to speak, to have a scene?
All right.
Don't all
hustle,
volunteer
everybody.
at once.
John, did you put the sword back in my room?
Yes, and you will notice that it has been cleaned. Everything, any damage mechanisms have been patched up, and it's as pristine as the day you got.
Okay. Rosalina is going to be at the bar then.
Oh, at the in the Drunnels then.
Yep, and very, very intoxicated.
Well, roll a toughness test to see just how.
See if Rosalina can hold. Well, not like very drunk, but a little bit past the point of like she's drunk, and she's definitely drunk.
Well, she seems to be fine. At least holding her liquor just fine. Or Amazek. I'm gonna have the stinking drunk table at the ready from Warhammer Fantasy. Just in case.
So she's just going to be sitting there just swirling around the same drink that she got with Marino the one time.
Indeed.
She's going to hammer one of them and then pick up another glass.
Speaking of which, roll an awareness test for me.
Do I get any minuses?
No.
I picked up awareness.
You did. Well done. As you're swirling your drink, you note that behind you there is through the clamor of the crowds, you feel a pair of eyes on the back of your skull, and you look around to see Morino approach as she takes a seat next to you.
Just for the scene, Rosalina is not in any of her dresses or anything. She actually just is in normal attire.
Define normal attire.
For her, it would be just more of a commoner's shirt, still made out of the finest linens, of course, and pants. Just black pants.
Fair enough. Looking quite swashbuckly, eh?
Essentially, yes.
Is the shirt open at the top?
Yeah, it has a boob window.
Ah,
Don't you worry about that, Victor.
of course.
Actually,
of course.
do you know my gray tank top, the one that shows a lot and it's a V-cut?
Yeah, I've seen that.
That one.
Well, that doesn't help the audience, does it?
It's a V-cut tank top. If they don't know what that is, well, they have to look at more boobs.
Huh.
Jesus.
You heard that, ladies and gentlemen. Look at more boobs. It's good for you. So, as Morano approaches, she takes a seat next to you, though she does not order up any drink from the bartender, who gives her a sidelong glance.
And I'm just going to look at her with a face that's almost defeated. Like exhaustion and heavy doubt just riddled all over my face.
I want to... Wait, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I need the Oath Unspoken. Because I'm going to have Morano roll Scrutiny. She fails horribly. Mostly because she gets the -20 for trying to scrutinize Xenos.
I'm just gonna, like, take the glass that I'm holding and swirling and set it down near her. And just be like, I could really use company right now.
You have your warband, do you not?
Not them. They wouldn't understand.
They are your kind, are they not?
They still wouldn't understand.
If not then who?
Maybe you?
She leans her head over to one side, as if trying to process the meaning of the insinuation. I'm not sure I understand.
One of the other things to note about Rosalina is she has no weapons on her at this moment.
Damn.
She is completely unarmed.
Well, an interrogator is never unarmed, not really.
Well, I mean, she has her force knife in her boot, but, you know, that's beside the point. We don't talk about that.
Mm-hmm. Aside from that, she's looking like an awful mess.
I lost somebody. A good friend.
Heresy did not mention that any losses were taken.
No. Not of the warband. A good man.
Oh? Someone I have not met?
His name was Vornus Crimson. He was of the Solium. A noble person.
Oh, he was from up high then.
Maybe. He stayed in the lower hive. But nobility...
An exile? A disgrace? She seems to be trying out different words to fit the situation.
Somebody like us.
An outcast, then?
He ran a gang. They were murderers and thieves. But not him. I first met him in combat years ago now. I had a chainsword, one that the sororitas gave me. One that my mentor gave me. And he smashed it to bits. But he did not kill me. He did not lay a hand on me. He didn't spare me. He taught me something.
Oh? And, I get the feeling that there is a story behind this, and at this she looks at the bartender and orders up a drink.
There's... The story that led to this is too long. I will tell you it in due time. But when we needed help, it was him. He came to our rescue. He brought us to where we needed to go. He helped us fight monsters. He helped us fight the great enemy. And
She's gonna roll scrutiny again. Keep going.
In truth, him just having that knowledge, I should have killed him. But I couldn't. He was a good person. There's not many of those in the Imperium.
And from what you're telling me now, there's even fewer.
Yes. He gave me his sword when I first left him. Lioness, the saber that I keep on my side. And with that, she's gonna reach and then she's gonna put her hand on her thigh.
Only to find Lioness missing, realizing that Tarvok has already
Actually,
returned
she
it.
didn't even... Well, she does know that now, but she didn't know that Tarvok took it.
Right.
But anyway. Does Marna respond to that?
She looks at you with that, with those alien eyes. What did you say again? I'm sorry, I blanked out.
That lioness was a gift. The sword that she always kept by her side. And now it's gone.
You gave her a name. That gives her power.
Yeah. Actually, he named the weapon.
Ah, that would make it... that would mean more, considering that you kept it.
Lioness was my savior and my protector for so long. And then Crimson did something. It got him locked up. But it was under my orders. I told him to do it. I should have just let him be. I should have just let him return back to his lifestyle. But I asked for his help, and he helped me.
You regret your actions?
Yes. I regret this even more.
Do not dwell. Oh, go ahead.
While he was in prison, we just finished off an investigation. I walked up to him. He's locked up behind bars. I didn't have the authority yet to take him out. And I joked with him. I pulled the trigger on my bolt pistol. I knew full well there was no clip in it, no ammunition in it. And I made him a promise. And with that, she's going to grab the glass and just hold it tight. I told him I'd save him. And I lied to him.
Do not dwell on the past. The Farsis speak that the skein of fate can be controlled, but I do not believe them. They merely peruse and view it through their own lens. All we can do is keep moving forward.
The great enemy broke him. great enemy tried to come after me. Through him. Through my own daughter.
Did they succeed?
And with that, she's actually going to just hold her pendant really tightly. The Emperor protects.
I hear he does.
No. I had a vision. And in the vision, a demon. Actually, she's not going to say that. She's just going to say, a monster. A monster of lust.
You could use a quick injection. You could use Neverborn.
Oh, yeah. A Neverborn. A Neverborn took his soul and used him and my daughter against me. I cut them down.
At this, as Morano sees that you're on the verge of making a fool out of yourself, she looks around and picks you up from the bar stool to lead you away. Do you resist?
No.
All right. Morano leads you back to the upper decks of the ship, taking some strange backways that she must have spent a lot of times trying to that she must have spent time exploring the ship and finding all manner of shortcuts and detours. But she does bring you in front of your own stateroom.
I'm assuming she was holding my hand and just like pulling me behind her all anime style.
Decide what you will, dear listener.
Anyway.
Once you're standing in front of Rosalina's stateroom. God damn it, Knight. She lets go of your hand and says, "You should get some rest, Lockwood. You look like you need it."
And with that, she's just gonna look at her and just rest her head on her chest. Yeah.
Morano is taller than Rosalina, right?
Yes.
Okay, just double checking.
Rosalina actually doesn't have hilts on, so Marno stands a head taller than her.
Damn.
Her stilts. Her high heels.
Stilts.
Sorry. I was just moving my demon cosplay. Forgive me. Anyway. Does Marno let that happen?
She doesn't move. If anyone were to pay attention to this scene, they could see that Morano would be looking around.
I'm assuming nobody is there.
I'm gonna say no. It's in the night cycle of the shipboard time, and most people have gone to sleep.
She's just gonna sit there with her head in her chest. Will you stay by me tonight?
Ernest.
What was that? Am I the only one that can't hear Victor? Wait, what? Did my headset just cut out?
Do not know.
Victor, can you repeat that? I'm sorry, my headset cut out. Wow, why is this happening?
Laying your head.
Okay, sorry, Discord is being weird really quickly, so... Okay, did that fix it?
Are you back?
Yes.
Okay. Roll an awareness real quick.
Okay.
+10, why not? No, not even with a +10. Well, Morano, after letting Rosalina lie there for what seems to be a stretched out moment of time, she raises her back up and says, "You should sleep, human. I hear it is good for you."
Did you hear the part where I said, would you stay by my side?
I didn't.
Okay. I'm gonna look at her, just deep in her eyes, and just say, would you stay by my side tonight?
I will watch over you if that is what you wish.
Yes.
As you enter Rosalina's stateroom, you see Riza. She's sitting on your bed, and she's holding Lioness across her lap. As you see you approach, she puts the blade to one side and hovers into the air on her anti-grav motor.
I'm so sorry, Riza.
Did you transgress against her?
And I'm just gonna look at Marno. It used her against me. And at that, Rosalina's just not gonna finish the sentence and just hug her daughter.
Riza, my bad, hugs you back, though it is mostly muscle memory.
And I'm gonna look at Marno for a second. I vowed never to dive into her mind. I fear what I may find.
Some things are best left hidden.
And I'm just gonna look at Riza. Riza, go to your bed, okay?
And Riza, as she receives the order, hovers over to her. Actually, does she have a smaller bed?
Yeah, she has like a child's bed.
Yeah. It's child's bed / recharging station. And she lays down.
And Rosalina... Well, I'm assuming I have like a condo type deal room.
Sort of. It's think 18th century king's bedroom.
Okay, so there is like a little side room that Riza goes into.
Yes.
I'm gonna order the servo skulls in there as well.
Fair enough.
And then I'm gonna start removing my clothing and getting ready for bed.
Morano takes a seat on one of the chairs.
And I'm just gonna give her a smile as I take off my shirt. And that could be the end of the scene if you want.
Yeah, fade to black.
Let your imagination wander from there.
So, as this, while this is going on, Thalia is in her room, close by, but a bit further down the hallway. What is Dr. Polonia doing at this moment?
Well, probably getting my things ready. I'm preparing everything. I probably took a break from Heresy's room, which is probably where I actually spend my time and sleep. I'm gonna go ahead and reach into my secret hiding place and pull out my candle.
Indeed. As she retrieves candle, she finds that the fire at the top of the wick, still of the candle wax, actually wick is the right word, still burns, and none of the wax seems to have melted away.
I'm going to look at the candle and ask it, Tell me what Larisian Serena is plotting. What is he trying to do?
Roll for me a willpower test.
That's
Well,
beautiful.
that's good for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, it fits. So, let's see. Roll for me a 1d5.
Oh boy.
Alrighty then. So, as you gaze into the spectral flame, you feel an intense sense of jealousy and loss. So much so, it threatens to overwhelm you and send you into an absolute rage. But you manage to calm yourself down, but not before gaining 5 corruption points.
Is that?
Well, there is, as you regain your wits, the candle seems inviting, seems to almost invite you back in. Do you stare back into the flame?
Yes.
As you do.
Sorry.
Go. That's fine. I'll just real quick need to adjust page. As you gaze further into the spectral flame, your what's it called? Your consciousness escapes out of the oath unspoken itself, and you see what appears to be an overview, you've experienced what appears to be an incredible expanding of your own senses, and you can see that a planet in the distance lights up bright red as it pulses with warp energy.
Can I tell which planet it is?
Can you see, if you zoom out far enough, where I am?
Terminus Prime, I understand. Okay.
Right. And with that, as you notice the planet, you are immediately falling back into your own body, and you awake as you open your eyes while you're lying prostrate on the floor. Let me...
I will take candle and then put it away.
Not even a thank you? Jeez.
Didn't give me a good enough answer for a thank you.
Oof. It didn't satisfy you, Mope? Sorry.
Well, if it gave you all the answers, you would lose its dependency on Candle, and it doesn't want that.
I would never abandon Candle the way it just abandoned me with that crappy answer. But anyway.
Oh, that's funny. So, next, does anyone wish to go next, or can I pick?
Sure, why not?
Going once,
I'll
going
go.
twice.
Larisian.
Perfect. Larisian. Where is Larisian right now?
He would probably be in his in the room assigned to him, probably cleaning his bolt pistols.
Fair enough. What sort of do you have a scene in mind, or are you just informing?
Not just like if you have anything in mind.
Personally, I don't. Not yet. It won't happen until everyone has gone.
Okay, well then never mind. Just never mind.
Fair enough. Knight, Pre, either of you want to do anything
I can be
specific?
long-winded, so Pre can go ahead and go.
All right, Pre. Is there anything specific you wish to do?
Nothing that I have in mind, no.
Fair enough. Knight, you're up.
Okay. So Tarvok, instead of being in the archives of the bar, is actually in his room for once. and he's all of his equipment, his armor, his weapons are laying on the bed, and he's pretty much naked as he can be, staring into a full body mirror.
Yes, which leaves him standing as a strange, almost megapede? Is that a thing?
Millipede.
Millipede. There we go.
Or centipede.
We'll go with millipede. Leaving him standing as a strange metallic millipede with some splotches of flesh still remaining.
And he looks into the mirror, and he places his hand over his chest in that what's left of the cage and he just kind of places his hand there, feeling his heart beating over and over. And he kind of just feels his face. What have I become? The Omnisci has blessed me, and yet I still feel human.
You feel an innate sense of the weakness of the flesh as your metallic hand touches upon your chest.
If I do this, what will I be? Will I still be me? Who am I? What am I? And he thinks back to his work repairing battle automata and the like, and Cataphront breachers during one of his adventures, and remembers the blank look in their eye. And he kind of focuses his eye in the mirror to see if he has that same blank expression.
As you look close, you find does he have both or just one bionic?
One bionic.
As you look and meet your own gaze in your remaining organic eye, you can still see that the fire of intent is still burning bright, though it is heavily, what's the word I'm looking for?
Waning?
No. There's like, when you contrast two things? Let's just go with contrasted.
Contradict?
No. I keep forgetting this word, but I know where I used it. Never mind. It starts with a P, I think. Whatever. It is contrasted by the... Which color is your bionic eye?
It's red.
It is contrasted by the red, ever-burning, never-blinking light of your bionic eye. Baleful eye, actually. Let's use it properly.
And I want to think back, what happens, like, he wants to look back in his memory in the teachings of the Omnisci and the Machine Cult of what happens when a tech priest removes pretty much everything.
You find that as you go through your internal cogitators, you can draw up at least, let's go with 1,276 various heretical, mind you, versions of what can go wrong, with the various magi going so far as to completely replace every last bit of scrap of flesh, and in so turning themselves into an abominable intelligence, only to be hunted down by the Secutors? I'm blanking on my Mechanicus fluff. Let's see. Yes, there we go. However, you are also able to find that with greater augmentation, you find that very famous names of the Adeptus Mechanicus come up, who have left, who have mostly left their brains intact. In fact, there are some who have partitioned their own brains into smaller compartments so that they can place greater and greater processing powers all throughout their system. It is a double-edged sword to not go too far, but still remain human.
And as he kind of takes this, he actually reaches into his bag and pulls out the now preserved head of the homunculus.
Indeed.
And
As you look upon the starting to shrivel head of the homunculus, you can see that if you were to take closer samples and do further research, you might be able to find what appears to be even genetic levels of manipulation and some rather disturbing levels of chirurgery.
And with that, he kind of holds it up to the light and kind of snarls his lips. You broke her, didn't you? In the end, you won. I bet you're so damn proud of that, aren't you? You won't break me. Not after I do this. And with that, he's going to, does he have a direct line to the, road train?
Heresy?
Yes.
I'm going to say not while he is in his private room.
In that case, he will actually say, in that case, he puts the head back and says, I'm heading to the Drunnels. There's something I must acquire. Actually, he's got, actually not the Drunnels, the, what do you call it, a Medicae?
The Medicae facility?
And with that, and as he does that, he gently rubs an X across his heart and fade to black as he walks through the door.
Indeed. Mope, were you going to say something?
I was just gonna say that, you probably get a hold of Polonia.
Oh, can I? Okay, I didn't know. Actually, in
I
that
mean,
case...
you could try, honestly, thinking about it. Probably would pick up.
Oh, in that case, he will actually, because our rooms are next by, he would actually move over to the knock on your door, so...
I'm not in there.
Yeah, I was going to ask if Polonia had left her room.
Oh.
No, that's what I was saying. He's trying to get a hold of Aristide, and you were like, "Oh, Aristide, you can't get a hold of him." Probably get a hold of me, and I'm probably in his room.
Yeah. Wait, am I cutting out again?
I kicked a water bottle.
But yeah, I'll respond to the comm link and say, "Yes, Tarvok, what is that?"
I'm glad you're... Are you available? I need to borrow you for 2 things. And you're the only person I know with the capability of doing it.
Hold on. I can be available if you give me a couple hours.
Oh, of course. Time is not of the essence right now.
Oh, in that case, if you don't mind making it 3 or 4.
Of course. But, can I say, if you could also get a hold of Aristide, ask him if he could secure for me a very high quality bionic heart. And Polonia, I'm going to ask you to do something that has to be done.
Now, or when I can meet with you?
When you can meet with me. I want
I
you're going
understand.
to remove my...
I'll discuss it with Aristide and see what I can do.
Very well. Thank you, Polonia.
And scene. So, as time moves on, and the acolytes either doze off into sleep or
Commit
just
sweet,
inject...
sweaty heresy.
Hey, shush.
Hey, there's nothing heretical about oh, you mean you.
Goddamn. So, as they either doze off into sleep or simply inject another dose of recaf into their system, Larizian finally lets sleep overtake him, and as he dozes off into his dreams, he finds himself in a familiar setting.
Oh boy, here we go again.
Once again, the endless forests shrouded in mist stretch all around you, with barely the faintest light able to penetrate through the boughs of the trees. Across a pond, you see the now familiar lanky figure that has so haunted your dreams these past few months. As you blink, you lose sight of him, but as you turn your head, you find him standing next to you, seemingly admiring the pond. He says, "You have done well, Surina. The movement of fate is well set in motion."
The movement of fate.
It might be hard to tell what your significant influence upon it might be, but the right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world.
And so I've heard from multiple sources. Now, is something you're me?
Indeed, that is the case. I have come to reward you for a task so far well done. But there is another prize I must ask.
And what is that?
And you notice that in your dreams, your injuries and swollen eye have completely vanished as you catch your own reflection in the pond before your feet. You see the figure point with a crooked finger towards one of your eyes and says, "I will have one of those in return for a boon."
And what kind of boon will this be?
It would grant you sight beyond sight and power to further shape fate.
I would like to ask one thing.
Ask away.
If I'm to lose an eye, at the very least, and see, and they looking here, and as he's speaking, he's going to just gesture into the pond at his reflection, which he hasn't really looked away from. Would you be able to return my other damaged features? Or at least make it so that they... better to come back.
That would be of little consequence. I suppose a small addition to our deal can be made.
Would that change the price?
Will you change... I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. What?
Will that change the price?
The price will remain the same.
You know, this reminds me of a story from the planet I grew up on. One of a sage who wanted all the knowledge my planet had available to it. All of it was held in a great repository in the mountains of... can't remember the name. Lost it in the years. But it said that for 5 days and 5 nights he begged the keepers of that repository to let him in. Each time he was denied. But on the 6th he returned. And, well, he offered his eye. And they allowed him in. Of course, after removing said eye. He died shortly after, but because at the time it was before the Imperium came. Let me put it that simple. But it was said that he gained all the knowledge he wished before he passed, and died happily.
You see the figure smile a crooked smile. It seems we have very similar ideas when it comes to the offerings of sacrifice.
So, in the honor of that story, and, well, I kind of need my... And very well, I'll accept this. The terms are agreeable.
The figure holds out his hand in order to shake yours.
And I'll take his.
As soon as you catch it, as soon as you take his hand, you feel almost a lancing pain of ice moving up through your hand, and as quickly as an eye blink, his other hand has moved and has had it straight into your left eye. Let's go with that. And you wake up in a startle. Roll for me a willpower test.
Alrighty. Give me 1 second, because it takes a minute, because my head is being funky.
Do you want me to roll it for you?
Nah, I got it. I got the page up.
Okay.
I want to reroll that.
Yeah? You know,
Okay,
the willpower tests seem to be fitting this session.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better.
Well, it's better, but still doomed. Roll for me a 1d6. Just because we have access to a whole bunch of dice types. 2 corruption points. And I will discuss the other changes after the session.
Okay.
Actually, did either Polonia or Larisian go above a 10s in their corruption?
I did not.
Okay, just making sure.
That's actually the first corruption points I've ever gained.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, you've made a whole bunch of willpower tests. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Keep forgetting that. That's that. So, as morning cycle comes, you find that a runner has been sent to each and every one of you to deliver a message, and you are, everyone actually, aside from Polonia, who gets the message directly, that you are to assemble on the bridge at the Oath Unspoken to discuss the next destination, as the Mandeville point has been reached.
I'm still imagining that I'm just cuddled in Moreno's arms.
No, Moreno has, as you open your eyes, you find that there is no trace of Moreno.
Dang. She didn't even give you her number.
Just left you to clean up the mess.
Ursula is actually going to be very disappointed by that.
Viggy, before we switch to that, would I be able to talk to Heresy about P.O.Box request and go see Tar?
Yes, in fact, you can do that as before the time skip.
Okay.
Alright. Tarvok will still be like Just he'll be wearing his black, like his robe, just his robes, but his chest is open, like he's just kind of covering it up for his arms up by for deep.
What was it you asked me to ask Heresy for?
Bionic heart.
A heart,
What?
like a bionic heart, something to make him not, in his words, to make him not afraid anymore.
Yes. I'm not going to tell Tarbok this, but I am not going to ask him for that. And then I will go see Tarbok.
She will be in the archives now.
Tarbok, what is that?
As you arrive in the archives, you find that the place has gotten that Tarbok has taken a good chunk of it for his own, and there is a lot of items hanging about the place and placed on tables. The most disturbing of which are the three different simulacra and the real deal itself. Meaning Halbrel's corpse.
You seem to have an array prepared.
Oh, this is just extra work to be done. Just explications and research. No, I always want to be prepared in case of unforeseen event.
Right. Well, Aristide agreed to grant your request, but it seems that to get you a top quality heart, it's going to take us a while. We'll have to wait for a shipment to come in, and it could be a while.
It is of worst case scenario. I'll secure it on the Solium. I'd just rather get this done and over with.
Right. What were you attempting to do? What did you need me for?
And with that, he kind of points to his chest. I want to replace one of my final major organs, and have it linked up so that there's a complete circuit going through from my head to my leg.
Well, Tarbok, your heart actually isn't one of your organs that's showing any signs, any decrease in functionality.
Degradation?
Yeah, degradation. There's really no reason to replace it.
But it would change me. It would make me an engine of logic. It would make me able to face the horrors that we have up ahead, as I fear there are many more.
Well, technically, fear is handled in the base parts of the brain, and the replacement of your heart could actually cause some critical issues. An electrical pulse could knock out your pulse, and then you would die.
As if it wouldn't already, he kind of says, pointing to it, like kind of moving his finger over to his lungs.
Well, I don't like the idea of it, but I suppose once we get the best quality augmetic, we can talk about the details of the surgery.
And with that, and he kind of looks and opens a book. You saw her, didn't you? Rosalina's, she broke. She changed. Oh, and with that, he kind of points to he opens one of the tomes malefic tomes he's already, actually, what was his name? What was that brother we killed on the roof with the Nurgle demon? Victor?
He said BRB.
He opens up the tome of that of the tome we got from that Nurgle fight and kind of opens it up. The enemy we fight, hits us in places that metal and weapons can't defend. Armor cannot defend against what we are up against. The only way I know to keep them from doing to me what they did to Rosalina is to remove it. With that, his eyes look very sunken in and tired as he kind of gazes at Polonius.
I'll look down solemnly for a few moments before I say, are you sure that that's the answer? Or are you just running away?
I'm scared, Polonia.
I know.
I thought we were the light and that the darkness feared us, but no, it laughs at us. Every time we... If our enemy could bring low Rosalina, a bastion of iron will, what would it do to me?
I'm gonna sit down and sigh. I don't know, Tarmor. But if you run away, that just empowers the things that you're afraid of.
Then what do we do?
I don't have an answer for that either. I think grasping at desperate solutions will only make things worse, though.
And with that, he'll turn one of the book to you. Our enemy fights with symbolism. They weaponize ideals. The manifestations of thought. Against that, what chance do we have? We have faith. We have our willpower, perhaps, but that is only for a select few. Are we truly doomed?
I'm gonna rest my head in my hand for a few moments, looking down at the book. If our enemy can weaponize ideas, and we have to preserve knowledge just to keep them from influencing us, then what is the truth even? But, Tarvok, and I have my head in my hands as I look at you and I say, do we even have a choice in the matter?
Candle in the tempest can still, perhaps, the Omnisire, the Emperor, whatever the many people of the Imperium call him, that is our only bastion, is it? There's got to be something, a weapon, a tool. There's always an answer. Every problem has a solution. There's got to be one. But how can faith... And he's just kind of frantic through pages. One of the most faithful people we know was brought low. And he's just like frantically flipping through different books.
I'm gonna be glancing down at the table. Before you came to be in Rosalina's service, did you know that demons were a literal truth? Did you even know that what they told you weren't just stories? Did you really believe in the Emperor?
And with that, he kind of looks around to make sure that nobody's here and whispers, there was one thing that kept my mind away from the darkness, and the Omnisire took her away, or at least those who claim to speak his will. They ripped her apart from me. I don't even know where she is anymore. My defenses, my barriers were brought low, and I have descended into what you see now.
I don't really know what to say. I didn't mean to question anything. I just, before I came here, I didn't even realize these things were real.
Is it better? Do you feel safer now, knowing the realities of of what the galaxy has to offer? Or are you happy that we were brought into this service? Given a chance, would you change the course of time?
That's a lot to consider. When I look back on things, I know that when I was still on Forlease, I never thought I was in danger. It was a luxury, and now that I look at the rest of the galaxy, it was kind of a paradise. But after my time here, I know that while I felt safe on Forlease, I was never more vulnerable than when I was on Forlease.
This organization has changed us, but it has armed us with the tools we need to protect ourselves and the rest. We sacrifice our innocence and our very lives to keep another young Polonia, another young Tarvok, the future generations, I suppose.
I don't really know. All I really know is that I just keep doing it because I worry about the rest of you. When I first signed up for this, I didn't know about any of the things that I'd be exposed to. I thought it would just be some sort of military special operations, and even then I didn't realize the danger we'd be facing. And I didn't realize that we would be experiencing existential threats. I've always been a woman of science, and I didn't really take anything seriously until I saw it before my own face. Now that I've seen these things, I don't know anymore. I can't go back home. I can't leave. What else is there?
And with that, he actually pulls from like under the table his pistol and lays on the table, kind of pointing the barrel like towards himself, like it's on the table, but he kind of turns it. There's always an answer. The question is, what are the consequences of it?
Well, Tarvok, I'm a doctor. I'm a surgeon. I save lives. I admit that I've taken more than a few since I came here, but I'll always choose life. And at that, I'm going to take the pistol and put it aside.
And with that, he actually nods his head and actually kind of, his shoulders kind of untense, and he almost the beginnings of a smirk. Life. That's what she always valued. What are we? Are we the light? Or are we the darkness?
I'm gonna look at you and almost seem a bit hysterical, as if I'm trying to hold myself together. I put a bullet in someone's because he smuggled something. He probably didn't even know what it was. And I killed him. I'm gonna wipe away a tear from my eye. I just had to do it. I didn't really have an option. And I did it.
I hang myself from wires while a half-naked man tried to gut me. And with that, he'll just lean back and pull a cigar from his jacket.
I guess, Tarvok, one of the reasons that Rosalina's breakdown might not unsettle me as much as you is because, well, I've always looked at her as a bastion of faith and heroism. I've also always known that she's a bit unhinged.
Is that the secret, then? To defend ourselves? Is madness the answer?
I'm gonna look around rather paranoid and lean in. Do you wanna stare at a doll and talk to it like it's a person? And live in a world of make-believe?
Is that better than the cold, hard realities we face every day?
I'm not a psychologist, but I'm definitely not a philosopher, so I can't tell you.
But do you know why we have these conversations and why we keep going? It's because anywhere can be paradise as long as you have the will to live. And with that, he kind of offers his hand to you.
I'll take it and say, if you take out your heart, how many more organs will you lose before you stop being considered alive? Can you lose before you stop being considered alive?
Do I have any other option?
Like I said, your heart is fully functional.
For now.
Well, look, Tarvok, I'll talk to Aristide about getting you the prosthetic. But until I do, I'd consider thinking it over.
And with that, he kind of nods his head. I will. And with that, he'll bow his head. Thank you, Thelio, for everything.
I'm gonna stand up and say, I'm trusting that you understand better than I do that we can't repeat anything about this conversation.
And with that, he looks up and says, the prices in the Drunnels are quite high these days. Wouldn't you agree?
It's quite disturbing, but I think I'm going to head to the upper parts of the ship. They're more to my suiting. It's kind of dirty here. I don't understand how you can take it.
Indeed. This was quite a nice discussion about the commerce of a rogue tradership. Wouldn't you agree?
That's definitely true. But I'd better get going.
Good evening, Dr. Palone.
I'll see you around, Tarnwalk.
And as you walk out and kind of close the door to the archives, you hear maniacal laughter just echoing through the door.
Okay. And I will walk off.
Is Victor back?
I think Victor is actually gone eating dinner.
Oh, well, that's our scene.
That was a good scene.
As the summons go out, Amma.
No.
Oh, what?
Oh, sorry. No, never mind. Go.
God damn it, meh.
Demonetized.
Wow.
Actually, Vicky, I just had an idea of something to do.
Orks fall, everyone dies.
Orks fall.
No. It is Amma's turn. He waited patiently.
Okay.
It
Oh, I
is
didn't know if
indeed.
he was back or not.
He is, I'm pretty sure. So, As the summons go out, Amma is found. Can be found in the Astropath Choir chambers. The camera pans in on him having a discussion with the younger Astropath, Kirill Johannes, as he prepares to stenographer the message that he has. Stenograph? Yeah, I think. Whatever. He's here to take your message. Beep.
So Amma will approach and he will say, "My lord, I have a dire message for you. We was on the planet, I don't remember the planet's name.
Nexum 8?
What did you say, Vicky? You cut out.
Nexum 8.
We were on the planet Nexum 8, and we found traces of them, the Drukhari, and we just left. We did not pursue. They're still free to roam. This troubles me. I don't know how to feel about this. We need to hunt them down and destroy them. But I shall await your judgment and your guidance. I will also...
Out of character real quick.
Yes.
You did bombard as far as you know, every single Xenos in there was killed, and the area was leveled. I'm confused about the message is all. I need some further meaning behind it. So, out of character, please.
Out of character, we need to investigate the area completely. There could be teleporters going away from the place. There could have been more in the area before we, left and bombarded it.
Ah,
they could
right.
have escaped.
I see. Ah, of course. So, in essence, you're reporting so that a cleanup team can be sent in?
Basically.
Right. And I'm guessing Amma is feeling distraught by the fact that he doesn't get to be in said cleanup team.
Yes.
Okay, now it makes sense. Okay. Fair enough. So, keep reporting.
I will also like to report that there has been odd behaviors noticed among the party with mental breakdowns that has been quite unsettling. I don't know how to feel about this. I don't recognize these feelings. I have no real way to deal with them. Then this is also troubling me. Nothing of your teachings have prepared me for this, or the teachings of the temple. And he will just be silent after that.
The Scrivener's throne that the Astropath has been locked into lets out an audible chime indicating that the message has been prepared and is ready to be sent. Do you instruct the Astropath?
Yes, he will instruct the Astropath to send the message, and he will just slump his shoulders and walk away in a sad theme song playing in the background kind of way.
Fair enough. And you can hear the strange hymnal sound that is accompanied when an astropathic choir is in session, even if it is only the lonely voice of the single astropath. And with that, as the message is sent, you hear footsteps approach rapidly from behind you, and a runner approaches and informs you that Lord Captain Aristide wishes for the warband to assemble on the bridge.
He will thank the messenger and start walking towards the bridge.
Indeed. And with that, actually, Noble, was there anything you wanted to do real quick before this?
Just before going to the bridge, Lewis is going to go to the astropathic choir.
Indeed.
Because he has a message to send as well.
You just managed to not bump into Amma.
Alrighty. And this is going to be sent to Kara on Disoli.
Fair enough.
Kara, I'd like, since you're in charge in my stead, I'd like a full report of the events that led to, ordering. I'd like for you to send a full detailed report of all happenings that have occurred since that and the current progress.
Indeed.
And that's it? More or less it.
Ah, right. Seeing how the astropath is currently in the middle of sending, you write down a missive and seal it in a vacuum tube, just so that it's ready for the next sending.
It's like a damn the bank suction machine when you do the drive-through.
God damn it. Do you have to, babe?
Yeah.
Every time.
Sorry, that's amusing.
I guess you do.
Yep. And you're marrying me. You're dealing with this for the rest of your life.
Pretty much.
Don't sound thrilled. I'm sorry.
God damn it. Fair. So, as the warband assembles...
Oh, wait. One quick thing. Just really quickly.
Yes?
Rosalind is going to hear the knock and the runner. She's going to take her blanket off and look for Mara now. And slightly get disappointed that she's not there. And then she's going to look at her clothing that's, well, pretty much all over the place. And she's going to start putting her clothing back on. After getting the message, of course. She's not going to open the door, obviously. And she's going to look once again at Lioness as she puts the melt-a-gun on her back and leave it there.
And with that, the warband assembles upon the bridge of the Oath Unspoken, and the now familiar whir of the hololith lights up as the Ascalon sector is laid bare before you, and the Oath Unspoken's current location, which is here.
Okay.
There we go. Silent.
I'm going to look at the warband and just say, our last mission concluded. Now, where are we to travel this time? Does anybody have any suggestions?
With that, Tarvok raises his hand.
Do I have to ask which one?
The main one. If I say he raises his hand, it's his like right main one.
I know, it's tradition now.
Actually, now if you notice, he's wearing a specialized glove that has motive force conduits on. But he says, with all due respect, and if it pleases my lady, I would request that we return to the Solium. I have noticed that many reports have not been sent by Omar Indish since the nonsense with that large ship in the icy caverns.
Tarvak, have you checked the Astropathic Choir to see if Karpath has sent us any messages relating to that? They are reporting to him, of course, right?
Yes, anyone. Oh, they would have been reporting to Aurora, who would have then reported to Karpath. But yes,
It's a long chain of messages, but it gets there.
yes, and I have. Victor, we're just gonna say I sent Theta-01 to go check messages, and then he should be returning.
Indeed. As Theta-01 stomps back to the bridge, he, in his most emotionless voice, reports, "No messages, most beneficent one."
And with that, he kind of... I need to get more cigars. I put another cigar in my mouth and light it. Well, that's not... I feel like we need to have a follow-up, not investigation, just a checkup. You know, not only will that give us time to... And with this, he looks directly at you. Recuperate in a friendly environment. But also let us have a follow-up to see what the effects of that warp... what was it? The Gellerfield?
Yes, the Gellerfield containment. You did contain it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Oh yeah. You chose to try to hold it in place. So,
an investigation there seems most beneficial, but does anybody else have any ideas?
There were... and this Larson's going to slightly chime in. And at this point, he's wearing pretty much just a full, mask that only allows one eye to be seen. For now. When we were investigating on the Solium, we came upon the Traxians, weren't they?
Yes.
Perhaps that's something we should look into. As, well, evidence shown there would suggest that they're perhaps, elsewhere. Links to Trax and such would be, based upon my knowledge of that one big brute that once stayed with the party, could prove very detrimental. Wouldn't you agree?
I would. Though we did get this name from the homunculus. And I'm going to present the name once again, which I cannot remember.
Let me type it up. Kyre.
Or Kier.
This
Kyre.
name was brought up on the mind of that homunculus. It was the last thing that he thought of, and the thing that invited him to that world. Amma, do you have any knowledge on this?
On the name? No.
Tarvak, in all of your research so far, have you been able to figure out any clues upon this name?
Victor, can I go through my internal cogitator to see if any name comes up regarding, that have both Jukari and that name paired?
You can, indeed. However, you would have to roll a Forbidden Lore See Knows All, because you don't have the correct one.
Fair
Meaning
enough.
you would roll it untrained.
Exactly. I'm going to re-roll that.
Yeah. Well, remember, you...
Oh yeah, no, I don't get my own.
You counter the... Remember, you get a plus 20 bonus to lore test, so
Oh.
You don't get your bookcase, but you do get your best
my
quality. What's it called?
cybernetic.
Yeah.
Cerebral
Wait, is
implant.
it best or good quality?
It is best, Victor.
Ah, right. So yeah, you would have. So it was a 50-50. Warlock knowing that. Actually, it was a 75% of him knowing that.
And
because
but as Tarvok kind of taps his mind, and he says, "None that I can think of, but my mind has been a bit." And he kind of again looks to Rosalina. It's been a bit shaken due to current events. I'll look through my research, but nothing comes to mind as of right now.
And I'm just going to look you dead in the eye and just say, prayer will bolster your resolve.
And with that, he says, Ave Deus Mechanicus. Machin.
Ave Deus Imperator.
And he kind of nods it.
Go ahead, Pri.
On that name, can I roll Forbidden Lore Imperial Navy?
You can, but it would. You would have to roll it with a -10.
I will do that.
Holy crap! Now, due to you only getting 2 degrees of success, I will tell you this.
Did he cut out for anybody else?
Sure to whom it is referring to, but you do recognize it from Imperial Navy, from what's it called? Battlefleet Ascalon after action reports. Seeing how you've no doubt spent quite some time studying them, based on your particular hatred for your enemy.
Quite so.
And you recognize it in after action reports in engagement with Drukhari raiders.
I cast full action fill-in.
Indeed.
Rosalie's going to actually note that your eyes like widen when you have the realization. That's all I wanted to do.
Fair enough.
Is that okay with you, Pri?
Yes. It is completely fine, because he will be quite stumped in realizing, oh hey, I actually remember this.
Did Rosalina relay this info before now?
Yes.
Fair enough.
I'm going to look at him and just say, these reports... Oh god, why am I drawing a blank on the rogue trader's name? Aristide.
Yeah.
Aristide, do you know the current whereabouts of this ship?
Which ship?
The ship that that woman piloted.
No, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
We know that Kiri was an Imperial Navy officer.
No, wait. Hold on, when was this said?
Literally just now. We're looking for that girl.
No.
Yes?
I'm not sure what you're referring to. Kyr is a name, but I never said which gender it was.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's a woman.
Fair enough. But yeah, it has no designation to a ship.
So there's after action reports of a person without the ship's ident?
Yes. In fact, the name comes up from the enemy, meaning the Drukhari vessel.
Drukhari vessel. Amma, where was the ship last... Where were these Drukhari ships last seen, last engaged? Is there a pattern to their engagement? A path that maybe we can follow?
Do I know this, Viggy?
Yes. The pattern, you remember establishing a pattern that these Eldar, that these Drukhari raiders seem to congregate on the rimward edge of the Styges cluster subsector.
And I will.
That would be around here.
Like down here, or
Up. Where I'm pointing.
From Juno to Rax.
So, on the edge of the sector.
excuse me. I will inform Inquisitor Hunt about this to send some Autoxenos Inquisition there to deal with the Drukhari problem.
Maybe we should go investigate before them. Put an end to this Kaya.
We could get proper intel for them prior to them going in. Yes. And I'm going to look up to the warband after contemplating this for a moment. In fact, I got an idea.
What?
Untrained logic check. Boop. Okay. Rosalina thinks she has a good plan.
Oh boy. Here we go again.
Tarvok's already got a raised eyebrow.
His remaining eyebrow.
His cybernetic eyebrow.
Yes.
Would that technically be a monobrow at this point?
No, because the entire left side of his face is, like, from his scalp to, like, his cheek is metallic.
It's a monomolecular brow is what it is.
Okay.
Brow.
Alright. Tarvok has suggested returning to Desolium. Amma has suggested going to the...
Rimward edge of the Styges cluster.
that. To pursue the Drukhari. Does anybody else have any suggestions to put forth?
Well, Larisian pointed out Rax.
Yeah, I did suggest the Traxians.
Where is Rax?
Up here.
So I completely missed that at the point
Yeah.
of Larisian when Noble said that because I was away talking on the phone.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, but I forgot to let you know. But I did now.
So
Oh, Rax. There it is.
going back in a bit of time, then, as Larisian says that, Amma will raise a eyebrow and glance slightly over to Larisian, just looking at him. He's not gonna say anything. He's just looking at him.
Heading over to Rax.
Larisian would just look back with the one eye that's visible.
Mm.
But then turn back, essentially.
Polonia, your thoughts?
It sounds like the Styges cluster is the most conclusive to our duty. We should be scouting out threats to the Imperium.
We could probably use Rax as a starting point.
Isn't Rex, from my knowledge, an uncivilized place full of aggressive fauna, flora, and completely unwelcomed outsiders?
Sounds like home.
To you, perhaps. Then again, it's not my fault that your mother didn't want you home.
With Larisian saying, sounds like home, Mama is going to laugh. And he's going to contradict you, Tarvok, and say, on the contrary, they are most accepting of visitors. And quite civilized, even by Imperial standards.
You've been there before, Alma?
You could say so, yes.
Oh, could you say so, or have you?
Yes.
Amma being his usual elusive self. So, Aristide sits down in his command throne and gestures to Rosalina, saying, "So, do we have a destination?"
Well, we have a target, and yes, apparently we're heading to Harax.
I see. I was looking for a sunny vacation.
Perhaps you can get some good trade in there as well.
Oh, usually while you're gone, I have this or that dealing in the background. Worry not. And with that, Aristide begins his usual chain of command and chain of commands, plural, and starts issuing orders to the various bridge crew and informing the navigator of their next destination. And with that, and while he is busy bellowing out orders, Lurisian, roll for me a toughness test, -10.
Oh boy. Alright. My toughness. There it is. -10.
Oh boy.
I'm re-rolling.
Yes.
Finch just loves you.
Yeah. You know what? Nah, I couldn't.
I'm sorry.
It's almost fitting considering.
Well, considering. As this is happening, Lurisian, you can feel a jolt of pain stabbing through your covered eye. So the pain is so intense that your hand involuntarily goes over your left eye, and you slump into the ground on your knees, agonizing in pain.
Wait, is he doing this in front of us?
Yes, sure is.
Lurisian, and I'm just gonna grab him for a second. I'm also gonna reach for the mask and pull it off.
Indeed. As you do, you can see that the bandages that are still in place over most of his face. That rhymed. The part that is covering the middle of his face is still intact, but the ones over his left eye seem to have ripped off, and his eye is turned a disgusting yellow color as bloody veins cover the whole thing.
I think we need to get him to a medical facility.
Yes.
Hallelujah. Roll for me a Medicaid test. Just don't roll 100. This is a quick diagnostic check.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah, you know what's up. It seems that the toxin that the homunculus had on his weapon that caused the injury to begin with, there seems to have been some trace amount left, and it seems to have infected his eye.
It's the Xenos toxin. We need to get him to a facility immediately. I'm gonna have to work in the lab and try to synthesize something to combat it.
Tarvak, grab him.
And I do. I throw him over my shoulder.
And off to the Medicaid you go.
Amma, walk with me for a second.
Of course.
Are you all heading to the Medicaid bay?
No.
Just the three of them then? Polonia, Lurisian, and Tarwak?
Yeah.
Alrighty, while that is happening, Amma and Rosalina are walking. I have no idea where.
I'm walking back towards my room.
Walk and talk.
You took one of those Xenos blades, right?
Yes, I did.
Would you mind if I took one off of you?
Not at all. It is yours.
But I want to give you something. I know you have strong feelings against the Drukhari, As do I.
They are vile. They only exist to inflict pain and torture and more pain. And with that, Ama is going to open up his coat a little bit to show some really nasty scars going across his chest.
They got you too, didn't they?
Yes.
I took a trophy off of one of the slith while everybody was busy. I figure a trade is in order.
Oh?
Excuse me, sorry. And I'm going to open the door to my room. And on the one shelf, you're going to see Lioness just kind of discarded, almost. As if thrown across the room.
Ama is going to take note of that. This is most odd. He has a particular sense of correctness and such. Sense of detail.
It's the only thing in the room that's, like, out of place, so it's very noticeable.
Yes, and that is why he will take note of it.
And she's gonna take a key out and unlock one of her cabinets. And inside the cabinet, you're gonna see all the Xenos weapons and everything that she has taken. These, here, are the weapons that we've confiscated from the Faceless Trade as well as the creatures that we ran into. All of these need to be categorized and studied further for the benefit of the Imperium. But this, and she's going to take out this slith skin, and she made it into a pouch. This I want to give to you.
Quite impressive.
You guys hear me, right?
I'll call in English. Oh.
I'm not sure.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Is Alexis? Yeah, Alexis is cutting out for everyone else, right?
Yeah, bits and pieces.
Right.
Okay, so quickly what I said is, here's all the weapons that we've confiscated. They all need to be categorized for this study of the Imperium so that we can better arm ourselves. And she's offering you the slith skin that she made into a small purse or pouch.
Ah, yes, we heard that bit.
Okay.
The slith pouch bit.
Yes,
And Ama was thanking you for it.
he is indeed very thankful for it, and he will return in due time with this sword. He has it in his secret space where he has his armor and weaponry stashed away.
Is it a secret compartment in a closet?
No, it's a secret compartment somewhere on the ship.
Fair enough.
And with that, Rosalina closes the cabinet and locks it. Then locks a thing on the bottom and a thing on the top as well. So the thing is completely locked up.
So, that scene, right?
Yeah.
Yes. As we jump cut over to the Medicae Bay, where Larician has been thrown into a Medicae gown, medical gown, let's just go with that, and is a dress, whatever.
He just screams, "It's cold in here!"
Well, if he doesn't scream it, he sure is thinking it. And I'm pretty sure Polonia picks up on it. Oh, go ahead, Mope.
Oh, no, I was just confirming.
Yes. As Polonia is furiously working on identifying the toxin, you can see that there is his condition is getting worse, and the prospects of saving the eye are looking slim.
I'm not going to reveal that to him now, but I'll continue to work on this, or on the cure. I'm going to wait until he's stabilized before we decide to remove the eye, unless it's like a procedure that needs... Unless you're telling me that it needs to go.
I mean, you can attempt to synthesize an antidote, so you can roll for me a trade chemist. However, under the pressure, it comes with a -10.
Yeah, he would also be saying, like, he would also be like, get it out.
How fitting.
How fitting.
Wow.
Indeed. Very, very, very... I'm going to look across the table. I assume there are some sort of attendants or nurses nearby, and I'm going to tell them we have to remove it. I can't synthesize anything in time, and if this spreads, it could get worse.
As you do, the nurses and... what are the... orderlies, there we go. That's the word I'm looking for. And the Medicaid orderlies scramble about in order to prep Larisian to go under the knife and anesthesia. And with that, a chirurgeon rooms is prepped for Larisian, and Polonia is scrubbed and ready for to operate on his eye. And with that,
I will knock him out, and I will begin to remove the eye.
All right, roll for me just a Medicaid test. Whatever you do, don't critically fail, because that's how the only way you do it.
Yeah, we're good.
There you go. Phew. And it takes many hours, but Polonia is able to remove the infected organ, sensory organ, and she makes preparations to. She makes the preparatory work necessary to replace it with a bionic, but she does not put it in just yet, seeing how her patient is not there to give consent.
You mean Larisian?
Yes, he's currently under. Yes, he's currently under. So you would have.
His eye is removed.
Yes, I'm going to just for now put in the lost eye condition on Larisian's sheet.
Ah.
What?
One-eyed Willie.
Do you have to every
that
time?
That wasn't me. That was Pre.
Yeah, but I hadn't noticed, and I heard it from you first, so I blame you. Yeah.
Now you're just being biased.
I sure am. So, as the journey moves on, and you're still in the warp as you travel through, Larisian, it has been a few weeks now, and the wound has fully healed. Would you like to discuss?
Man, Pre's been on a long walk.
Wait, hold on.
You gotta remember, Vicky doesn't read our chat.
God damn it, I'm usually
Victor,
busy with other things. My bad. So, my bad, we go back, while the operation is going on, jump back in time a bit, Alma brings the blade back to Rosalina.
Yes, it's in a wrap in cloth. Yes, so has not been seen by anyone. And
Indeed.
he will stand in front of Rosalina with both arms outstretched with the blade in his hands and present it towards her.
She's gonna take it by the handle and remove the blade itself. Remove the cloth itself from the blade.
It looks as alien as it did in the hands of the Slith.
Surprisingly balanced for a weapon of this nature.
Bigger than what you're used to, but you should be able to get used to the added weight.
They're also surprisingly light.
Considering the size of them, that is.
How ironic would it be to use this weapon to kill them?
It would be sweet revenge.
I'll have Tarvok fix the handle for me. And then once our mission is done, I will put this back into the archive and study it further.
You are not going to use your normal sword?
And with that, she's going to bow her head slightly. I can't right now.
Why is that?
It was never my sword to begin with. And the man who owned it is now gone.
At the hands of them.
Yes.
Then wouldn't it be fitting to use that blade to exact vengeance in his name?
And you're going to see a slight smile go across her face. Alma, you don't say much, but what you say is guided by the Emperor. His words in your mouth, his light in your eyes.
I live to serve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, she's going to take the one sword and look back towards Lioness. And the door's going to shut, and she's going to walk towards it. Now we fast travel. Boop!
Now we fast travel, and in the middle of warp travel, on the way to Frax, Larizian, your wound has started to heal, and the pain has left. You can, if you wish, you can now discuss the augmentation options with Polonia.
Alright, yeah, sure, why not? Because Pete almost never talks to me.
So, as you are recovering in your room, Polonia comes in to check in on you.
Well, Heresy, you've lost the...
God damn it.
You
I was
cut out.
unable to save your eye in time. I had to remove it in order to prevent further infection.
No, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to apologize. It's... In fact, if anything, thankful you removed it. Probably ended the pain of it and the indignity of having a foggy eye.
Oh, you're at my mercy. But that aside, we should discuss augmentation option. We should be able to procure a new eye for you once we arrive.
Well, what are my options?
I figured the most obvious would be a synthetic eye, but they aren't cheap. It may be difficult to procure one.
Well, if that's the case, then as much as your associate would hate it, I could try and talk to my cousin about it. See if I can pull funds for a favor.
I'm just gonna smirk at the note of associate and say, right, well, if those connections are able to get you the augment, then I can implant. After, I can have Tarvok check it for specifications and make sure that the technical aspect is correct. You seem to be overall healthy besides that, so I don't expect any sort of rejection. I think we should keep a placeholder in the socket once it heals until we get the fake so that we can, you know, place the fake inside without issue.
Would you suggest something along the lines of something made of glass? And as he says that, he's
We can have a glass bead shaped for it. That sounds like a good idea. But you'll have to clean it regularly. It's still healing.
Oh, I know. I had it when I still captained a vessel. There was a man under me. I believe he was a gunnery officer. Had a glass eye. How he continued his work, honestly, I don't know. But he was one of the best shots on the vessel. But he had the nasty habit of that thing slipping out.
I'm surprised someone was able to be such a good shot without depth perception. Where is your cousin right now?
My cousin?
Yes, if you're going to get the eye from them.
I would assume... I can't remember, is it Port Aquila or Port Lockhart, Viggy, that the family...
Port Lockhart is your best guess.
Okay. Well, if I had to assume, I would say probably Port Lockhart, as that's where, well, my family tends to have a bit of pull. And by that I mean we pretty much have that station in our pocket.
It's not very close to here. It could take a while.
Yeah. But until then, I assume, well, I'm more than willing to wait.
Yes, it may be difficult for you without the other eye, but once we get the augment, things should get better. Until then, I would suggest wearing a patch.
Yes, perhaps one to match my father's.
I didn't know your father had an eye patch, but it would be a family tradition then.
Well, of course it would.
You seem amused by this. I'm surprised. Most people, upon losing an organ, tend to be a bit more distressed. I guess it won't be as much of a life adjustment as losing a limb, but I still would have expected something more.
Well, the whole reason I'm, taking this as funny as it is I just lost my nose and then I lost my eye for the same reason. It's annoying, and I honestly despise that fact because it ruins my looks and appearance. Not to mention the augmented I recently had installed.
Out of character, did we ever get your nose back?
Yes.
Yes, Amma found it.
Did we attach it again?
I'm assuming you did.
I thought I did. Oh, wow, we didn't. Okay, so yeah, wow, I'm sorry, I just realized that. Okay. I'm gonna look at you and say, well, it's quite traumatic to have it's quite traumatic. I'm not a counselor or therapist, though. If you need any sort of help, you can request one or someone from the ecclesiary. There are people aboard who you can discuss this with to help deal with it. We need you in top functioning shape. Rosalina needs you in top functioning shape. So if you have any sort of issue, be sure to discuss them thoroughly with someone who's a specialist.
I'll be sure to. But if there's one thing that your associate, and he's going to say, and just again with a hand motion, has taught me is, well, perhaps laughing it off is better than my other courses of action that I've taken previously. Particularly much better than the bottle. Though I can't say that hasn't helped a little, and as he says that he's going to pick up the flask that's on his desk and knock it back and forth, you can hear that it's pretty much just nearly empty.
Right. Well, again, if you need anyone to discuss this with, or you're feeling like you're having any issues, be sure to. You've gone through quite a distressing experience, Larsium, so...
Guess you could say.
I've worked in trauma wards before, and most people don't, even if you feel alright now, most people don't take having their face. She's just gonna struggle for the words, trying not to say deformed or like something horrible like that.
Yeah.
after having such a rapid change in their facial structure, it can be quite distressing. So if down the road you feel like you need to talk to anyone, really, don't feel shy about it. Anyone who's been through what you have would need to do the same.
Well, believe me, I'm sure that once I come down from everything, yes, I probably need to speak, but as it stands, no. Not right now.
I understand. I would recommend that you stay in this room for a few more times. I'll come check your vitals, and then once we feel that you can function on your own, not medicated, then I'll release you.
Very well. And as like over the course of you talking, you would have seen his like expression drop from the more laughy kind of to a bit more sullen, I guess to say. You have my thanks, though, Doctor. Your work is appreciated.
I do what I can. Honestly, I just do what I know, or it comes naturally to me. And at that, she will just step out.
And he'll return to doing as he was doing. Which would more than likely be writing in his journals.
I'm back, by the way.
Okay.
So, with that, let's see. We are going to exit out of the warp over the mining world of Pelene. Pelen? Not sure how to pronounce that one.
Helene.
Pelene. Ha ha ha.
Oh, wait. Before we exit warp.
Yes?
Me and Tarvak have been doing something on the side. So,
yes?
Apparently I'm her side chick now.
What?
So, can I just do this really quickly?
I mean, yeah, you can just read back through it. I would like to hear it.
Okay. Tarvak, come in.
Oh, yeah, and he kind of lays the body back on the table. This is Torvok.
We're on closed circuit comms. I need you to come... Actually, I'm going to walk down to him with the sword wrapped up and look at his table and lay the sword out and take the cloth off of it.
As I see her go in, I cover the head of the homunculus as to not trigger any kind of PTSD.
Do you give her a trigger warning?
Look, it's better because I don't want to get triggered by a multigun. Jokes aside.
Ha.
I have a special item I need you to work on.
A new jurist, perhaps? He says with kind of a playful smile.
No, and that's when she unsheaths the sword itself.
With that, he lifts his single eyebrow. Oh. Yeah. And what would you have me do with this?
I will kill these creatures with their own blade.
Ah, and you need it reforged into a more human, to fit the proper perfection of the human form.
Yes.
Well, and with that, he kind of pulls out his data slate.
Don't forget the what if lioness part.
I'm about to.
Okay.
As he kind of pulls out his data slate. And what of lioness?
Lioness will be on my side.
Good. I would hate to see my magnum opus laid aside for a Xenosplit.
No. And at this, you're going to see her. She still doesn't have Lioness on her side, by the way. Not yet.
Which Tarvok does note and kind of seems almost disappointed by.
Amma has reinforced my faith.
Oh, good. I was worried that your morale had been shaken to a point of no return. It's good to see you back in re.
My prayers have been done. My sword will be at my side. His revenge will be seen.
Perfect. That tool, Lioness, has bonded to you by the fires of purification.
The sacrifice of Vornis Crimson will not be forgotten.
He nods, and as he looks at the Xenos blade, he looks at you. Now, I have some questions regarding the modifications you want for this.
I'm gonna need the sword shorter.
Okay. Are we talking short sword, dagger, bastard sword?
About the same length as Lioness.
Okay. Could you hold your arm?
Oops, sorry, go ahead.
I said, could you hold your arm out as he kind of gets a measuring tape to make sure, and begins kind of examining, just getting your measurement and weight so that way he can make it balanced.
The sword itself is in the shape of the old Terran falchion. It'll be a functional weapon. I also need the handle slightly shorter and less bulky. It's too thick for me to hold balanced in my hand.
Wow, chicka wow wow.
Food.
Oh,
Hey.
Vicky, why do that?
And he looks at you and he says, "I have." Could you? And he actually takes out a from his cabinet. He takes out what looks to be a small box, and when he opens it up, it's a type of like gray clay, and he puts it out. Press your hand into that.
Of course, and she does.
He gets her length and her hand print just in case of any modifications for a custom grip. It will take me some time to make sure that to do some research on the metal, but that shouldn't be too bad. Sharpen and making sure that it is sharpened and taken care for. With things like this, you always want to measure twice and cut once, as it were.
Be careful. The weapon has a toxin injector of some sort.
Incorrect.
Well, the sword itself has toxic.
Nope, it doesn't.
I can put tox injectors into it to simulate the original.
Oh yeah, you didn't use the other one. Sorry, the other slith blade has that.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, and I bring that up. I can put in tox injectors to simulate the original effect.
Oh, sorry to interrupt, but speaking of toxin inject, never mind, I'll bring it up later. Sorry.
That could be useful. Something to stun our opponents. Would make fighting the Dark Eldar much easier.
There is one issue, though. With this blade, I don't... Victor, would I know if this kind of blade would be immune to power fields, or is it just as vulnerable as a regular blade?
It would not. A power field would cut through it.
And he says, in a fight against a weapon-wielding individual, this would put the weapon at risk, but I assume at that point you would switch over to Lioness.
I also have this, and I'm going to reach down into my boot and pull out white. This is a force weapon. Now, granted, I don't want something as holy as this to be desecrated, but applying a power field to the Xenos blade might not be out of the question. But for now, just the regular sword will do.
And with that, he does say, kind of holds up a hand. Keep in mind, this is to be between us. These kind of alterations to a Xenos device is not necessarily accepted by others.
As far as I'm concerned, we picked it up on the planet.
Of course. And let's see, and with that he begins flipping through books, and I will does this place have any kind... I'm guessing this ship has an armory, right? That would have like a grinding wheel and stuff.
There is a basic armory aboard the ship, but it does not have the necessary facilities for anything so grand as a power field implementation.
No, not a power field implementation. Just getting it to Rosalina's specifications with like a
Yes.
custom grip and making it sizable.
Yes, that is perfectly available.
Which I'm guessing that's all a trade armor test.
Yes. However, as you are finishing up your request, Tarvok, you notice behind you, if you roll a Senescience, Alexis.
Oh, me?
Yes.
They said Tarvok, so I was confused.
My bad. There you go. You can sense Kirel Johannes approaching from behind. You have now become quite familiar with the astropath's aura. As you note the young man approaching, his empty eye sockets staring back at you, and his hands seem to be shaking around a sealed vacuum tube.
What is this?
My Lady Lockwood, we have had an intercept, and while this message is not, while we are not the intended recipient, I fear its contents are most deserving of your holy eyes.
I'm gonna walk up to it and grab the thing from him and open it.
As you unscrew the lid of the vacuum tube, you can see that inside is a hastily scribed message written on parchment, fresh out of the autoscribe. Do you read it?
Yes.
To my most august Archbishop Zedekiah, I can only beseech of your lordship for aid, as I am surrounded with souls bereft of the Harvest Emperor's spirit. None can be trusted, for I cannot be certain who remains loyal and who has fallen. Foul things are stirring underneath the placid spirits of my people. Their smiles are false, and I know their hearts have become corrupted. Our world lives to provide its bounty to others, and should its offerings become tainted, so would countless souls fall from the Emperor's grace. I have served you and my world for many years, and know my people. My lord, you must trust me when I say action is needed immediately. Only sanctified forces from your own orders can prevent the spread of that which I dare not name, even under encryption to our astropath, for even he I grow suspicious of. Darkness is growing ever greater around me. These are not the ramblings of the paranoid. These are the warnings of the vigilant against the dark forces we strive against each day. Heed them and save my planet. I beg you. Nova Bella is a good world and deserving of the Emperor's protection, and I eagerly await his forces to come to our side. Yours, in devotion to the Harvest Father, blessed be his light, Azarth Felissimo, Harvester Prelate.
It's this world, isn't it?
Let me see.
Bella.
Did you point here? This one?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah, it's that one.
I'm gonna look at this. I'm gonna look over to Tarvok.
You don't. You wouldn't know. You have never heard of a place called Nova Bella.
Tarvok, I need you to analyze this. Every single word.
As I look at it, Nova Bella. Strange, that's an agri-world, I believe. They worship the Emperor as a harvest father. Victor, I know I technically need to check for that, but...
No, you just know it.
Inform
Yes,
the rest
actually...
of the war band. I will inform Crimson and... Not Crimson. Wow, Aristide immediately.
And with that, you see him... Actually, as you do that, from under the table, you see two guns just fly up, and as he catches them in his hand and, slips them into his holsters. Work is never done, eh, Rosalind?
And I'm going to stop for a second and turn back. This is Odo Malleus.
Yes. And with that, he He lifts up his hand and lets the inquisitorial icon glow. But as he does so, he also flips it over to the back to show the hexagram awards he has scribed on his hands.
And I'm going to run all the way back to the front of the ship and hail the captain.
Captain Aristide's command throne swivels around as you walk onto the bridge, and he says, Interrogator Lockwood, we were just about to prepare for our last leg of the journey. Is there an issue?
Emergency. We must go to this world.
Do you say which one?
Yes.
As you intone the name of Nova Bella, the command throne swivels back towards the hololith that lights up with a thrum, and the navigator is able to quickly pinpoint the planet, which is just a simple warp jump away. Though he does not have a fully navigated route within the Oath Unspoken system. I'm sure my navigator is able to get us through there just fine. Is there a... You say there's an emergency. Is there anything else you can inform me?
And under my breath, I'm going to say, await the hails of another Inquisitor. We may not be the only ones for this message, but we will be the first leg of this journey.
I see. I will take care not to do anything unduly rash.
And I'm going to go and close circuit comms once again to Tarvok. Tarvok. Hide that sword for now.
Very well. With that, he will put it in one of his secure lock boxes.
And with that, the Oath Unspoken jumps into the warp once more. And we will arrive on the planet of Nova Bella next time.
That was a lot of fun. That was a good episode.
Yeah, it was.
Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Queen's Court. If you do like the series, be sure to give it a like and comment down below, because it does actually show us that you guys are interested in this series. I'm going to keep playing it regardless, but at the same time, I would love to see your support of this series. Also, if you're a talented artist, I think you know what scene needs to be drawn. Hint, hint, Yeti should do it. Anyway, I'm Alexis the Ego Queen. I love you guys. Bye.